Hi all, I'm Anupama Nair and today I'm going to talk about the book written by Charles Dickens called The Tale of the Two Cities. The book begins with the very prophetic words which is so relevant in today's world. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, it was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness, it was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We have nothing before us. How true when you think of the life we are leading today in the midst of a killer pandemic. The story, Tale of the Two Cities, is in the times of the French Revolution. The two cities mentioned in the book are London and Paris. The story is of Dr. Manette, who was imprisoned in France for 18 years. Now he gets a chance to move to London and live with his lost daughter, Lucy. Lucy had no idea that her father was alive. She gets a shock of her life when she sees her father. Then she meets a man, Charles Darnay, who was an aristocrat and the nephew of the Marquis of Everham. And he is so disgusted with the aristocratic life that he gives up his title, Marquis of Evermore, and becomes an ordinary man, Charles Darnay. He and Lucy plans to get married and lead a good life. Lucy comes in contact with another man called Sidney Carton, who is madly in love with her. And he realizes that Lucy can never love him as he comes to know that she is in love with Charles Darnay. And he tells Lucy that if ever she or any one of her family is in trouble or is in danger, he will readily sacrifice his life for her. This is what exactly happens. Charles Darnay and his family goes on a trip to France and Paris, and then the French Revolution happens. It was an era of chaos, confusion, and a lot of bloodshed. Most of the aristocrats, including the king, Louis XVI, and his infamous wife, Mary Antoinette, were guillotined. Old Marquis of Evermore dies, and Charles Darnay becomes the new Marquis. And it is of no surprise that he is also sentenced to the guillotine. Then Sidney Carton arrives in Paris, and how can he allow that? So he, by stealth, he gets into the prison and convinces Charles Darnay to leave, and he pretends to be Charles Darnay himself. The end of the story, we can see that Sidney Carton and an old seamstress is executed and guillotined. Charles Darnay and his family moves back to London for a life of hope. This is exactly what Charles Dickens is trying to tell us, that when there is a lot of despair, at the end there is always hope. Please go through this book. It is a must read. Thank you.